And what's up, Alfonso Nation? It's Alfonso Peterman here today, and I am here with another important member of the Transformers community. You guys saw my interview with OPTIMUS Man. Well, now I'm here with another man with the wheel of Optimus Prime, and that is Mr. Joe FIDUCCIA. What's going on, Mr. Joe?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome. He's so excited about the new Transformers movie. I cannot wait.
I know, it's incredible. Like, honestly, to be honest, man, this was something that I've been anticipating for the last 3 years, and it's finally here. I mean, we're 4 days away, and I just cannot believe how far we've come as a franchise. It's incredible.
Yeah, I'm very psyched to see this next movie, man. I've been waiting for it just as long as you have, and I cannot wait to get to those theaters. The only difference I have is I can roll up an Optimus Prime.
Yeah, you can get in him, and then you can go. And I'm sure the people would love it at the theater. They'd be like, "Oh my God, it's him! It's really Optimus." But that's funny. That's
Yep.
cool. Yeah. Now, so correct me if I'm wrong, but you are the first person ever to build the first ever replica of the Optimus Prime Western Star truck. Is that correct?
Correct. If there's anyone else out there that's done it, they haven't made themselves public yet. So based on the research that we've done, I am the only person in the world, as a fan of Transformers, to replicate the Optimus Prime truck scene in Age of Extinction and The Last Knight. There are a few folks who have replicated the older version, the Peterbilt version, but not to my knowledge, no one's ever done this one before.
The Western Star. So you're basically on record, the first person on record.
Yeah, first person on record, and the first person to actually get legal permission from Hasbro. We did reach out to Hasbro with their legal team, and they did give us permission to actually build this thing and share it with the fans back in 2015. So that's a pretty cool thing to say too, because I know a lot of these guys who do the replicas, whether it's Optimus or Bumblebee or any sort of replica, they typically don't go that route. But we didn't want to take on this adventure without first getting Hasbro's stamp of approval, so to speak.
And rightfully so. That's great, man. So like, how hard was it to get Hasbro to say, yeah, sure, you go ahead, you can do this?
You know what? A lot of people are thinking that it was a complex process, and it necessarily wasn't. We went back and forth a little bit. We basically explained to them what our intentions are. That we're not going to use this to promote another business. I'm not going to build 10 of these to sell for a profit. This was just a one-time deal.
Right.
Something I want to do as a fan, and they gave me some stipulations to go by and some rules to follow, and as long as I keep under those rules, I'll be good to go.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So when did you actually start building this? Like, when did this whole project begin?
We first got the permission from Hasbro back in December of 2015. Then in January of last year, 2016, I had to find a Western Star dealer willing to build a truck that resembled Optimus Prime from the factory. And something like that, as easy as it might sound, it's not easy, because a lot of these truck dealers, they are used to selling to companies who want to buy fleets of like 10 tractors, and then here you have middle-class Joe Schmo that calls up one day and says, "Hey, I want to build Optimus Prime, can you help me?" So finding a dealer that would actually take me seriously was very difficult, but I did find one, and we started that process last year. We started speccing out the truck on paper to make sure that it had the right tank sizes, wheel size, wheelbase, cab size, everything I can get from the factory floor before we even did any of the conversion stuff. And we picked up the truck in April of 2016 is when it was actually off the factory line in our driveway.
Wow, that is insane. That's great. That's so cool. So about how many people were like on your team actually making this truck?
There was about 25 people total. There was a bunch of different shops, bunch of different areas that were involved between Pennsylvania and New Jersey. It wasn't just one place that did it. There's experts that were airbrush experts. There's people who were CNC experts, chrome experts. There's a whole variety of different walks of life that came into this. And, for the most part, I am very happy that I did get to meet a lot of these folks. This was, again, just me calling up and trying to find people willing to help do the things that I necessarily couldn't do. The problem there was always I didn't have anything to work with. All we had were photos and videos that we found on the internet. We didn't have any specs or blueprints or plans or measurements, anything from Hasbro or Paramount. So for me to walk into somebody who does CNC machining, for instance, and say, "Hey, can you replicate this Autobot emblem?" And then he comes back to me and says, "Sure, just give me the AutoCAD programming and we'll be good to go." And I was like, "No, I don't have any of that. All I have are pictures." So I was able to find some really, really good people, very talented people that were willing to take the journey with me, and this is the result of that journey.
That is the result of it. Wow, that's so great. So you guys had no actual blueprint. You just had images, and we just wanted to make what you saw in the image.
You know, I don't want to, you know, say this with 100% certainty, but I'm going to say with 98% certainty, there's no one else in the world who has studied Optimus Prime as much as I have in preparation for this build, because I have scoured the internet for, you know, months, finding every single video somebody took of the original truck, every single photo I could find. I had walls of photos all over my house, all over the shop, just trying to get a picture of every single angle I could. So we definitely, you know, it took a lot of study and just try to get as much as we could. And what's cool to say is, you know, I think we matched it pretty close. I think we got pretty spot on with most of the things that we did.
No, y'all are spot on. Y'all got it. That looks like the original, and that's insane that, you know, you didn't have all that, but you did a lot of studying, you did a lot of work, and that is the fruit of the labor. Now,
yeah.
you actually once said that the inspiration for building this truck, because I always like to go back to the origin and find the root of where this, you know, where these things come from. And you said that the inspiration was for your son, and you said that, well, just for a moment, just explain that for the people watching.
Very curious why I did this. You know, am I a mega fan of Transformers? Do I love Optimus Prime? Absolutely. I love Optimus. I love what he represents. I love his morals, his character, everything about him. But, you know, there are plenty of other people that are bigger fans than I am. I can't dictate every single thing Optimus said. I can't name every Transformers character that's out there. So there's plenty of other bigger fans out there than me. I wanted to do this as a way to inspire my son to never give up on a dream, because this was impossible for us. You know, we already know no specs, no blueprints. Okay, got that. We had to get permission from Hasbro. I did not have my CDL. I did not know anything about trucks. I had to get my trucker's license. I literally started from the ground up with everything. And this was an impossible dream for me. This was something that was so far-fetched. No one else had ever done it. I can't lean on somebody else for help. Can I actually do it? So I made the decision, we made it as a family, to say, you know what, let's give it a try. And even if I fail, at least I could say I tried. So my hope is that, you know, in doing this, my son is 9 now. My hope in doing this is that one day, 5, 10, you know, 30 years from now, it doesn't matter, he can look back at what I did with this, and when he's presented with an opportunity and he's, you know, tossing it up and down, he can say to himself, hey, you know what, if my dad can build Optimus Prime with nothing, you know, I can do anything I want to do. So hopefully he has that inspiration to go forward. And if he does, if that means I'm in debt the rest of my life, if that means that I got to struggle the rest of my life, that's okay with me, because I've done what I think my job is as a dad, to inspire him never to give up on a dream.
Oh man, that's literally what I preach every single day. It's about that, about not giving up on your dreams and facing the challenges and enjoying the journey along the way. And what you did with your son, you know, like you say, is not, you know, even the struggles, that's not even the issue. It's the fact that you defied the odds, you defied what was impossible for you guys, and you made it possible. So that's gonna go way much further than any of the challenges that you're gonna have as a result of that. I love that. That is the characteristics of Optimus Prime to me, because he would do something like that. He would encourage people to face their dreams. That's crazy. So speaking of challenges, like, what were the main challenges you did face while building the truck?
Oh my gosh. Where do you start? Every single thing. There was nothing that was easy about this. I cannot pick one thing that I can say, you know what, that was a piece of cake, didn't have any hard time at all. Every single element was tough. I think, you know, some of the bigger projects, some of the bigger things, obviously the paint. So this was all hand painted. This wasn't wrapped. This wasn't done by, you know, some other means. It was all painted. And to be able to stripe out a truck like this from, you know, something that had nothing on it, that was tough. So what we actually did was when we got the truck from Western Star, it was originally blue. And at night, what we did was pull it outside, and we used an LCD projector, and we projected the Optimus flames onto the side of this truck. So that allowed us to see how the flames mapped out on the doors and everything. And then we, you know, used that as our template to draw out the chalk lines and start the pinstriping. But that was a very labor intensive project, just the paint alone. The stacks in the back, which you can't see from this image, but the stacks in the back of the truck, they were all hand built from the ground up. None of those stacks, no piece of those stacks was actually purchased from a store. So to fabricate all those stacks, it took a team of about 10 guys over 400 man hours just to build them, not even to chrome them. So that was an intense project. And there were so many things that gave us a hard time, so many things that, even when they were done, I'm driving down the road and things are starting to break on me. They continue to break on me. There's a lot of things on this truck that aren't designed for trucks. So it's a matter of, constantly keeping up with this, trying to make sure that this thing is safe, and also make sure that, the fans are enjoying what they see and I'm enjoying what they see and not having to worry about something breaking along the way.
Wow, that's insane. I bet everything about that, because like you said, building it from the ground up with no blueprint and just like going all in for it and having that thing behind you be the ending result.
Yeah.
I know most of it was challenging, and I can tell. You not only took on the challenge that many people would not have taken, most people would not have taken, but now that you've accomplished it, you can take it further, and now you can change lives. And
I gotta be honest, Alfonso, a lot of people who, who do these types of builds, you think of the car shows and the people that build these amazing cars, they're not very willing to do what I do. I'm willing to drive across the country for somebody or an event or whatever it is. These guys who, have a very expensive piece of equipment are not even willing to take it down their street. So, as a fan of Transformers, I understand that this is the only replica out there. It's really the only chance people usually have to see Optimus Prime. And I'll let them sit inside, I'll take them on rides, I'll pick up kids from school, I'll go to children's hospitals, whatever I can do. But it's rewarding to be able to say, I'm willing to take the risk as long as I'm able to take the risk and continue to do this for the fans out there, because I know it's a piece of awesomeness is the best way to explain it.
It really is. Now, I'm sure you've met tons of people since the truck was built and since you've been taking it places. So what is like your most memorable moment that you've had with some of the people you've met?
I love all the fans. I cannot say there's one individual person that stands out more than another. I've had people young and old. Just last weekend, she must have been probably in her upper 60s, low 70s. She said to me, she canceled a flight. She actually delayed a flight to Texas just to come and see the truck where we were at an event. She got very emotional when she sat inside. She got very teary-eyed, and I don't know her story, and I don't know a lot of these people's stories, but the emotions that come out when they are either near or in Optimus Prime, I'll make it talk for them when they hear it talk. The emotions that come out of these people are unbelievable, and everybody's got a story, right? And we don't always know that story, but I know that I've touched them in some way. And I guess as far as the most memorable moment was when we actually got this truck side by side with the original Optimus Prime. From what I understand, there's two other trucks out there that are owned by Paramount, and we got this truck side by side with one of those trucks down in North Carolina about a month or so ago. So I'd say is a pinnacle moment for me to be able to say, I'd never seen this thing before. Now I'm side by side with it, and it was really rewarding to see.
That's incredible. Now you obviously drive the leader of the Autobots. Believe it or not. I mean, it's a replica, but it is Optimus Prime. You drive Optimus Prime. So, in terms of the film, in terms of the story of the film, the Transformers: The Last Knight, how do you feel personally as a man who loves the character about his shift in character from defending the Earth to wanting it to die?
A lot of things are sometimes out of our control, and I think it represents human nature sometimes. For the most part, everybody out there is a good person, but we all have our moments. We all have those times where, life isn't treating us very well, and we get frustrated, aggravated, angry. We try to make good decisions, but life keeps knocking us down sometimes. So we, shift that way of thinking sometimes. Now, obviously, Optimus in the movie had some influence from Quintessa, but I think it does represent human nature a little bit. Everybody's got a good side, but also people do have that bad side sometimes that comes out. And this is Optimus's struggle. He's struggling between the good and the bad, and he's saying, I've done so much good for such a long time.
Yes.
Where has it gotten me? So it's, I can relate to that because, I myself, I try to bring so much good out there, and life just keeps knocking me down sometimes. And you get to that point where you're like, come on already, do I have to change my way of thinking? So I know Optimus, I don't know for sure, but I believe Optimus will come out of this, this mode and realize, what, it is better to be how I was. It is better to serve the good. And I do think he'll come out a good guy in the end.
Yeah. That's good. That's really good. Man, I gotta tell you, Mr. Joe, that is like your entire story with everything you did with the Optimus Prime truck is a very inspiring story. It really is.
Thank you.
It defies odds. It shows people that even though it appears to be that you can't do something, if you actually take upon the challenge and are willing to go through the fire, you can come out a phoenix. And I love what you've done. I really did. So my last question to you, for the fans, what are you most excited to see in Transformers: The Last Night?
Of course, the battle between Optimus and Bumblebee. I'd like to see what happens. Like I said, I don't know every single thing about every single character in Transformers, but from what I see in that particular scene, it looks like Bumblebee's doing something with the Forge of Solus Prime. I think that's what he's using when he's battling Optimus at one point. And the Forge, builds things, makes things. So I'm curious if there's a connection there. If that Forge might create something new with either Optimus or Bumblebee, or something will come out of that battle as a result of the Forge. I'm very excited to see that particular scene. I'm excited to see the whole movie. It's going to be too short. No matter how long it is, it's going to be too short. It's going to be over and be like, oh, come on, I want to keep on going with this. But
yeah, I know, right? That's kind of how I am.
Yeah.
People are like, man, this is too long. I'm like, dude, I've waited 3 years for this film. It's about time for me to see a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
But,
I'm excited. I'm excited for the whole thing. Can't wait.
That's so cool. Well, everybody, I do want to encourage every last person that's watching this to go to his social media. It's Optimus_is_here. It's right here on the screen, and you can see all the links in the description box. Facebook, Instagram, whatever he has that I find, go to it. This is one of the most inspiring stories I've ever seen, one of the most inspiring people I've ever met, and I want you guys to show him as much support as possible. Please go and do it now. I just have to. I
appreciate that.
I want to enforce
I appreciate that very much. Yeah, you can. Facebook is where a lot of the stuff happens. So you just go on Facebook and type in the words "Optimus is here." All the videos that I've talked about, all the things that we've done, the entire build from the beginning. From day one, I've documented the entire journey, so you could see how this thing was built. You can see all the photos and videos I took during the build, the frustrations I had, and you can see where we are today. And hopefully we'll have some good things coming up in the future. Hopefully Hasbro, Paramount, somebody will reach out to me and say, hey, carpet, but in the meantime, this was built for the fans, and it's going to be shared with the fans as long as I'm able to do it. So I appreciate everybody's support in this, and thank you very much for the interview, Alfonso. I appreciate it.
Not a problem, man. I really appreciate you agreeing to come on here today, and man, I'm just looking at that truck and I'm just like, holy God! If I ever see that in person, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah, real quick. I'll try to show you a little bit about the truck before we have to go here. I might lose signal, but I'm gonna walk around the side of the truck here. Let me know if my signal's getting a little bad here. You have one little detail I'll show everybody is this right here. So this right here, you can see it says JARS OP. Now on the original Optimus truck, it actually said 5700 OP. And this one says JARS because that's the initial of my family, Joe, Anya, and Ryan's Optimus Prime. So when people see that truck, that we added, that's different from Optimus.
That's cool.
Try to walk around the back here. Hopefully we won't lose signal here, but I do want to show everybody the stacks because I know you'd love to see them.
That's great. No, it
so
looks good.
Yeah. So I don't want to lose everybody. And if you want to see more, check out the Facebook page, follow us, and show up when we're at another event. Or if you guys want to be picked up from school, if you have somebody special you want to surprise for their birthday, whatever it is, reach out to us and I'm happy to talk with you a little bit more.
Man, I'm so glad. Thank you so much for showing me around with that. That looks so cool. One day I'm going to book you so I can see that truck in person. And I do want to support you. Is there a way to support you, like to donate to you? Is there like an account I can?
We don't have Yeah, we don't have any GoFundMe things or anything set up.
Okay.
You know, we do have a PayPal set up. I can give you my email address for the PayPal. If somebody would like to make a donation, that would be fantastically appreciated. But I can give that to you. It's notchbackkit@gmail.com.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll have that in the description box if you guys want to contribute to him, to this incredible, inspiring story. I mean, honestly, this, I can't tell you, because Optimus Prime personally, as a character, inspired me as a kid. When I was younger, his character basically shaped my personality, because his courage, his leadership, his dominance made me say, hey, I want to be more brave. Hey, I want to do that. So he was more than just like a cool red and blue truck that fought Decepticons. He was like, man, this is a role model as a child. So to see that in person, or to see that in the live stream, you know, it does a lot for me. So
he is that leader that everybody wants to follow.
He is definitely. Well, Mr. Joe FIDUCCIA, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you coming on today.
Oh, thank you very much, guys. Appreciate your support. You guys have a great day, and I can't wait for the new movie. Enjoy it.
Woo! Yes, I know. It's gonna be awesome. I look forward to talking with you in the future. I hope I can keep up with you and just, you know, check up on you every once in a while, see how everything's going, and I look forward to meeting you in Optimus Prime one day.
Sounds good. Autobots roll out! Yeah!
Roll out! Autobots roll out. Alright, man. Thank you, Alfonso, for watching. My name is Alfonso, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out.